All right, it is April 18th, 2024. This is John. This will be part two of tires and brakes on this 92 300E base model with an M103. We're here in Southern California. It looks like it's going to be a nice day, not too hot, not too cold. And so I got some parts in from FCP Euro. You know, I can't believe how the price of everything is just out of control. I remember I used to be able to buy these. I mean, they were maybe 15 bucks. Now they're 50. I got two front discs. They sent me, this is about $260 worth of parts. I'm missing the front brake pads that are hopefully coming today. I got the brake lines. We're going to change the brake lines. It's funny. I know that there's 4 tires on this car, but they sent me 5 brake lines. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's fronts and rear. So I guess I got an extra one. I got, I think these are all the same part number. Yeah, there's sensors right here. The brake pads, those were ceramic. They were $50 a side, so it's 100, another 100. I mean, we used to be able to do these brake jobs pretty cheaply, you know. And then we're going to bleed the system and to put all new brake fluid in it. And I didn't receive the rear brake pads. Thought I ordered them. I looked. It's not on the order. So I've been searching all around town. I called the dealer. They said, yeah, we can get them in. They're about $50 for the rear. I mean, these things used to be like 15 bucks for both sides, you know. Same with the fronts. I'm keeping semi-metallic in the back and going with a ceramic in the front, just because this is like takes 90% of the stopping force. And so I'm looking everywhere. You know, I looked on Amazon. Yeah, we can get it to you. Today's what? Thursday. We can get it to you Tuesday. You know, well, all the other auto parts places, and same with the dealer. Oh crap! You know, I want to do it today. Well, I have the car because my son's on vacation right now, so it's my son's car. He's on vacation, so I got time to work on it. So I looked out. I called up Napa Auto, and they said we can have those here for you by 10:30 today. This morning, $43 for the rear. I said, okay, that'll work. You know, because I've never replaced the rears. I've replaced the front probably maybe 3 times, 4 times in a 13-year span. We got the new tires. Thank God for that. So yeah, so I got a bunch of driving around to do today to go pick up stuff. I got to go pick up some more fluid. I've already got a brand new bottle of this that what I had. It's .3 or 4 synthetic disc brake. Yeah. So I just need one more of these. I found them. I have to go to Walmart anyways to get something, and they've got it there. It's like $3. You know, something has stayed the same. Go to Amazon, they're like $9. Makes no sense. But anyways, that's the plan of action. And I'm gonna take a look underneath. Well, I have the front up. I'm gonna do the front. I'll take maybe a couple days to do this. You know, I'm gonna take my time. So I do have some oil leakage, like right there. And right there, I looked at the front of the vehicle, or I looked at the top of the engine. I don't see anything leaking. Unzoom you. And so I'm thinking, you know, when I did the head gasket last and the oil sender was the culprit, I put a UV dye in the system, and at night lifted it up, went under there, and it was streaming from the oil sender pressure gauge. And I sealed that up with some Teflon tape as the threads, you know, and that stopped all the leaks. There was 0 leaks for, God, 6, 7, 8 months. And then all of a sudden it started doing it again. So I think it's probably that. There's something about the, you know, these oil, you get a new oil sender, the threads on it, you know, and then the threads that are, you know, on the original bracket, whatever you want to call it, just a tiny bit different. You know, maybe the thread's a little worn on this, so you got a little gap and it's under pressure. You know, what is it, like 60 psi, 30 psi, up and down, and it finds its way out of there, and then it can like leak. And I thought it was a rear main seal at first because it was leaking so much, you know, but I couldn't, it's really hard to see it, you know, because it's just shoved up there and there's a bunch of stuff on top and you can't really see. But I think that thing might be leaking again. So hopefully, I didn't see any leaks at the head gasket. I didn't see any leaks at the valve cover gasket. There's no leaks at the timing cover gaskets. I resealed everything there. Yeah, and it, you know, it's been a while since I've worked on the brakes, so I have to put my brake mechanic hat on. Boy, I should have got close there, didn't I? So I was going, okay, should I just do like one wheel at a time, put the brakes on the pads and do the line, and, you know, have them pump the pedal and do that. Now, I asked the internet, and everybody, you know, they say, well, put your pads, put the rotors, put the pads, front, back, get that all done. And then you start at the very rear of the car, farthest away from the master cylinder, you know, and evacuate all the fluid that's in there. I've got a big syringe, I'll take it out of there, and then put new fluid in there. So you got to do that. So it's, you know, it's going to take time. I'd rather do one wheel at a time, and there's, you know, because I got to take the wheels on and off, and, you know, throw your back out, all that fun stuff. But so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just do all the rotors, the pads first. And while I'm in there doing that, I'm going to put some liquid wrench on all the fittings, all the hose fittings, and the what are they called? Are they called Zerk fittings? The bleeders, you know, because some of those things can snap off and stuff. You know, it's 30 years old. If it was a 10-year-old car, it'd be a little different, but it's not. So I'm going to try to play it safe and do it that way. You know, on Ben's World, you know, some people say, oh, you'll only use a, you know, a pressure bleeder where, you know, it's like a little vacuum pump that sucks it all out and stuff. Then other people say, I just crawl under there and have somebody pump the brake pedal. You know, it works, you know, unless you've got like a complicated traction control, accelerator control, weird, all kinds of, you know, some of these had different options. This one is just a base model, thank God. You know, it's got ABS and stuff. So yeah, I'm just gonna do the old-fashioned way. You know, I do have one of those pressure things down in here that I could use, but I could just see the things top coming off of it and spraying brake fluid all over the place. I just want, and I want to be able to get it, you know, and look at it, all that. Old-fashioned John. $47, we got them. Rear pads. It's brake fluid. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do here is get comfortable. Now there's let's disconnect the brake sensor. A screwdriver right there. Yeah. And there's going to be a 10mm bolt. This way. Yeah. This way. There's that bolt. Gotta get some needle nose. And pull that out. There. Get that out of the way. Okay, now there's two bolts here, and there's a nut holding it. So it's let's see, the inside is a 15. It'll probably spin on you like this one is. Okay. off. Get the other one down below, it's hard to see. Piece of wire. Pull it off. And then just fasten it up here somewhere. I'm just using the shock. Okay, I just hooked it up there to the shock. Pads come right out. Break them loose. There's just two. Okay. So much fun. Come on. Okay. This one here, you're gonna need a come on. Oh, it's still tight. Another one. And there's this part here. Okay. That's if I got this. Yeah. 5mm. And then just right here. All right, it's pressurized, takes about, I don't know, 5 minutes. Okay, time to lube it up. Yeah. Well, I'm at a standstill. So here's the old pad, here's the old sensor, and you can see it's got a little place for this to go in like that. And these are the ones they sent me. So I don't think these will fit. Yeah, it's not gonna stay in. Yeah, I'll send these back. What's bad is when I was ordering these, it said this fits your 300E, you know, blah blah blah. Oh, so you gotta watch out. I didn't know they looked like this. I know that those do fit the 500 SL because I replaced those and they look just like that. So I think I can reuse these. Should be okay. Not broken. I'll know if a light comes on. Just make sure they're seated and everything like that. Yeah, you can hear them. They need to wear in a little bit. There's those damn ducks. So this guy feeds these ducks. And then they go over to my swimming pool and swim You won't get out of my way. And then they poop in my pool. Well, they seem to be working. Yeah. Working a little bit better. See it, but it's really hard. Here it's a little softer. It's just kind of stiff. That's what I was worried about last time, you know. And you know, from what I've read and I experienced, is these go bad. You can't really tell from the outside if they're going bad because they swell from the inside. They go like that. They start swelling. Then you get a reduced flow of the brake fluid, the pressure, the stopping thing. I had a 78 Chevy pickup, and man, I did everything on that truck, and it just never stopped right. I mean, the rotors, pads everywhere, all fluid, everything. And it turned out to be the front brake lines had swelled from the inside, and it was just a trickle of power brake. So when last time I had this up and I was looking at these, I was going, oh God, you know, I don't think they would burst, but you never know. Sometimes they can burst. There's metal on the inside. We'll cut one of these open. Maybe I'll make a video. You know, what's inside a brake flex line? You know, it'll probably be just fine. So there's 2 pins. That's all. It's pretty easy. Just gotta knock these pins out. I have to get a longer punch. Okay, let's see if we can get this. What's over here? A lot easier if you have a lift. Right there. I we're gonna clean these up. Kind of rusty. Okay. Clean all this stuff up. This is the spring that holds it in. And then big long screwdriver. See if these come out. Yeah, not horrible. Gotta push this piston back in. All right, time to clean. Get my little steamer out. Yeah, there's another piston right here. You gotta collapse it for this one to go in. Come on, baby. Feel a lip. There, I think that's it. There. Okay. Okay, I got them in like that. You'll see the little pins. You gotta, once you get one in, yeah, just get one of these and knock it back in. Start on one and then get the other. So that looks, should look like that. Okay, finally all the brakes are on. Now I just gotta wait for my son. We'll start working on replacing all the brake lines, flushing all the fluid. We'll start at the back here, the rear. Be the right side, passenger side there. Flush it all out so there's no bubbles in the stream. So, then the next is the driver's side, left side. Then there's this side, then the other side, and then we're done. Yeah, you know, it's a lot of work doing it on a driveway, you know. I mean, if you had a lift, hour you'd have it all done, but you're dragging all this crap around, you know. Anyways, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna get all this old fluid out of here. Put some rags there, and I'm just gonna suck it out and put it in there. It's yellow. Nice. Well, it's another day, another $1 spent. So I got kind of stuck last night. I couldn't get the first rear right brake to bleed the system. You know, we tried, you know, I had my son in there pumping the pedal, you know, hold, release, turn the bleeder screw, nothing, hardly, it was just a dribble of nothing. couldn't get a full stream coming out of there. So then we tried the vacuum, this bleeder thing here. It's supposed to be miraculous, and you pump it up like that, and it, you know, you pump it up and you just start extracting fluid. That's all, as much as I could get out, and that's bumping that thing 50, 60 times. You know, I tried it different ways of, you know, having the bleeder screw closed, pumping up a vacuum till it got up. I mean, I'd get it all the way up to 15, 25, and then open the bleeder screw. Supposedly should be sucking the fluid. Nope. So what happens, lesson learned, when you're replacing these brake lines, you end up getting air trapped in the system. And if there's air trapped in that brake line, you know, you're not pumping any fluid or anything. It's just not, it just didn't work. You know, even though that the master cylinder is full. So I started going, what the heck's going on here? You know, so the next step is I'm getting a power bleeder from, I think it's Motive. Should be here tomorrow. And what that does is it's just this, you know, plastic container, and it comes with a cap, and you put it on top of your master cylinder, and you pump the thing up to 15 psi, and then you know, you have a catch bottle at the bleeder screw there, and I guess you open it up, and this pressure in this tank is pressurizing this and sending the fluid that way. Doing it that way. It's a one-man operation, supposedly. You can do all four wheels. So that was about $60 on Amazon. Should be here tomorrow, which is good because, you know, they ship things out fast. So we're gonna try doing that. Another thing I thought of, which is really crazy, is, you know, basically, so that little thing there, what are you doing? You're creating a vacuum so that you want that fluid to fill that line and go all the way out there and get the air out. It's basically a vacuum. So I go, hey, I got a vacuum, I got a shop vac. So my shop vac, I don't know, it's a 6-gallon or something, and it sucks, right? It's a vacuum. And it's got I got a bunch of different attachments for it, you know, and I could get it down to a little end that's about that big, right, like that. Same day. Okay, so I may not need that Motive power dealy bob. Send it back. I might need it. Don't know. I'm still at the back wheel. So what I did, there's a shop vac right there, and there's the hose, right? And what I did is I had this Harbor Freight vacuum bleeder bump. I bought this to, I think, when I was working on the vacuum pods on the dash for the HVAC system. So this is just basically you know, a vacuum pump. It just pulls like a vacuum. And what I did is I just hooked this. First I took the shop vac and I had it right over the end like this with this attachment, and I just had it right over the end like that. Turned on the shop vac, had this open, and it pulled the fluid. You can see the fluids like right there. It just pulled just enough to get it started. Okay, once that happened, reservoir went down just a tiny bit, but it was enough to get fluid, you know, most of the air out. And then I hooked this thing up, this to that, and this to the bleeder right here. And then I opened it and just kept pumping and got that much out. So at this point, it's hard to tell if, you know, because these hoses are all yellow and stuff, and you need to have a real clean, clear hose to be able to tell if you've got straight fluid with no bubbles, and it's just impossible with this. So the next step is I'll have my son go in there when he wakes up, whenever that is, and he'll be able to pump the brakes, and I'll be able to open it, close it, pump it up, open it, and look at the tube that goes into this bottle here probably. Plus this tube is going down into the bottom, and when there's no bubbles coming out of that tube, it'll be filled with fluid like that. Yeah, it'll be filled with fluid. When you see no bubbles coming up, then you know there's no air in this one line, and you have to do that to all four. The big trick of it is, usually it's real easy because you're not replacing these lines, but when you go to replace these lines, you're introducing air into the system big time, and it doesn't like that. And then you can't, you know, it's just, I mean, we tried all day, all last night with this thing, and pumping it like 100 times, and it was just a trickle. And then in the middle of the night, I had a brainstorm. I said, all I need is a vacuum. I have a vacuum, shop vac, okay? And if you don't have a shop vac, then that's, you know, that's a bummer. Then you have to get one of those power bleeders, motive power brake bleeder. You pump it up, it's got fluid in it, you pump it up, and it actually, it's pretty cool because it forces the fluid out, but at the same time, the canister they give you, the pump, it's filled with brake fluid. It replenishes the master cylinder, so you never, you know, run out. So anyways, that's that. For the wrenches, these are tricky. Let's see, there's this one here. There's a 14 and then an 11 right here, and then it's 14 right there. This one's easy. This one here, you have to put the 11 up here and the 14 here and break it loose. That's how it comes loose, because this end here is just the thing with threads. Don't try cranking that, it's not gonna do anything. And this line will pop off, and this thing will drop down, and you replace it, and then it's got this metal, where's my finger? It's got this metal thing that goes right here that keeps everything from wobbling. The bleeder, pain in the butt. It's 9mm. I don't have a 9mm. I've never had a 9mm. I always have 10mm. You know, 12mm, but 9. I don't know. Maybe you have one. If not, then I broke it loose with a. Once I broke it loose, I used a. Oh my God, what is that? A 3/8 little 3/8 fits on here, but it's a little loose, but it's enough when this is loose to be able to go back and forth without rounding this thing off. Get that in the shade, and then to break it, a huge bee, get away from me. Oh my God. To break it loose, I used, it should be 9mm. What is this? Yeah, see, this is 9mm. So to break it loose, I used a 9mm socket. It fit. Okay. Or if you're lucky enough to have a wrench, God, you know, 40 years of working on cars, I have never used a 9mm wrench. What is the deal? Anyways, so I'll keep working on it. I'm glad. I was thinking, you know, the ABS pump that's on here had something to do with, you know, not being able to bleed it, get all the air out. See, these are all brake lines. You know, they're all, it's a pump in here. It's got valves and all kinds of stuff, and that fluid is in there. And so I don't know if that's made it harder or not, but one more thing before I forget. If you're going to have somebody pump the brakes, which I'm going to, it's kind of a piece of wood that kind of jam it up back there so that when you're pumping the brakes, it's the brake pedal, you know, when you're releasing the pressure back there, the brake pedal, you
push on it, it go all the way to the floor, right? You don't want it to do that because in the master cylinder, there's a plunger that goes in and out when you're pushing this. And I've read that it can have some corrosion at a certain point. And if you're pumping it all the way to the ground, that plunger can like punch whatever the diaphragm that it's actuating or something. So put a piece of wood on there, important, or else you'll be buying a new master cylinder. Okay. Yeah. There's a 14 on one side and 11. Yeah, that's 11. Yeah, just break it loose right there. I didn't even put a wrench on the other side. Am I tripping? There it is. Okay, so that's tight. Okay. And action. There it is. Whew. Come on, bitch. Okay, we're done with that. Now, we're gonna get this, put this on the nip butter. Okay. All right, Johnny.
Huh?
Yeah, and your master cylinder is all the way to the top?
It's all the way to the top.
Okay, get in there. Okay, get your hose down at the bottom so you can see the bubbles. If I could do this. Okay, pump it up. Pump it up 10 times. Okay, hold it. See the bubbles? Okay, that's what you don't want. Pump it up. Okay, hold it. Press hard. Okay, pump it up again. Hard to see that. Everything is so slippery that. Okay, hold pressure down. Kind of hard to see because okay, I'm gonna set it down so I can see what it's doing. Okay, pump it up one more time. Okay, hold it, pressure. Okay, no more bubbles. We're good. Ugh. We're done with that side. Oh God, what a mess. Okay, there's that. Put your little tit back on there, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, so that was good. You keep putting, checking your master cylinder, make sure it's up. So I got about that much out. It's actually pretty clear compared to this. What an oily mess, though, boy. I tell you, it's like putting Crisco oil on everything you own and trying to work with it. All right, I got it back together. Quick test drive. Oh, I tell you, Uh-oh, there's a dove. Get out of here. Get. What's the deal with these animals? Stop. Yeah, I think it stops better. Yeah, it stops real good. It's a steep downhill here. Yeah. All right, so I am done. There's all the old fluid. It's a real mess. It's a real mess. Yeah. Drives good. My son likes it. He says he notices a big improvement on the power brakes. Like I said before, it stopped really good. Before, I mean, it was just a hard pedal, but now it's more of a power brake feel, you know, and it'll get a lot better when everything breaks in, you know, the pads and all that. So what did we do? We got new tires, we got new brakes all the way around, new rotors in the front, new brake lines, whatever else I did. So total cost for this this time around, it was about $650. Tires were about 413. GT radials, 15-inch, I think 40,000 mile tire. Then the rest would just be all the parts. I accidentally bought an extra set of front brake pads, so I returned those today from California to Connecticut, where FCP Euro is, and also there was one brake line and the 4 sensors that didn't fit. The rear does not have any sensors, in case you're wondering, so don't buy them for the rear, just the front. It's weird because the SL had on the rear. Yeah, so yeah, you know, as far as doing it, you know, it's a lot of work. It's tedious because you're crouching, you're constantly getting up and down and crouching, and that's, God, my legs are like not used to crouching like that. If you have a lift or something, or a flat area and you can lift the whole car up and do it all like that, take all the wheels off, that'd be the way to go. But this is kind of sloped, and I'm not going to do this mess inside my garage. It's kind of like our man cave, you know, with carpeting and stuff. And this thing came in real handy. I'll put a link for one on Amazon. It's kind of the same manufacturer. Makes them all. They're cheap. They're under $20. The hardest part was the rear right wheel. When I replaced the flex line there, got air in the system, and that's the longest line from the master cylinder to the brake. That's the longest one, and it's hard to, I could not get this thing to pump because it was just pulling air, you know, and I was like vacuuming air. Hard to do. So the shop vac came in real handy. I just stuck that thing on the bleeder and turned it on, and it started drawing the fluid in. I didn't even get any fluid inside the shop vac. It was just enough to just draw it in. Then I put that on there, and within 30 seconds I had that jar full. All the rest of them I didn't have to use the shop vac on. Okay, the closer you get to that master cylinder, the faster it goes, because the lines are shorter. So anyways, this is it for now. I think the next video I'm going to hunt down that oil leak. I went under there last night and cleaned everything off underneath, and oil leak is coming from this side of the engine somewhere along here. I suspect, I hope it's not the case. I mean, I inspected it's not leaking by the oil filter. I didn't see any leakage at the oil sender, which that's where the leak was last time. But I do see I can see a reflection right here. There's a little puddle of oil right there, right down in here. And that's where something's coming from. And last time I went through this, I thought it was maybe the bracket that the oil filter and oil sender mounts on. There's a gasket there, and I think that gasket might be responsible for it, because remember, it's under pressure, oil pressure, and it's going to find its way out. And I did buy a gasket for that, and then when I found out how to replace that, I go, oh, I'll just replace it. It's just a little bracket this big. Now, there's one bolt holding it on that you can't get to without removing this entire intake manifold, fuel distributor, all the vacuum stuff that's going under there. So that's kind of a major thing. I mean, it can be done, but I hate messing, because the car runs so good. Once you start messing around with all the fuel part of it here, you don't know. You know, it might not run the same when you get it back together. But anyway, so this is John, and one more job done. I'll see you later.